Miguel sat in his office, bathed in afternoon light. The entire building buzzed with the incessant activity of his logistics company. Phones rang non-stop, trucks came and went from the port, and computers beeped with every update of shipments. Every day was a race against time, a struggle to maintain control over the complex machine of the company. Ever since he began working there, Miguel had always believed that efficiency came from discipline, from maintaining tight control over everything and everyone. Only then could success be achieved. Yet, that way of doing things had blinded him to a much deeper truth. If you want to learn more about how Miguel will transform his vision of success, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on other personal growth stories like this one. That afternoon, he was examining the resume of a young candidate named Intando when he suddenly remembered the face of the boy he had rejected without much explanation a few months earlier. Intando had been brought up in one of the townships around Cape Town, places marked by poverty, social isolation, and difficult living conditions. Miguel had always believed that people from those backgrounds were not ready to face the cutthroat world of work, and so he had put him aside. Now, however, those decisions weighed on him like never before. Miguel thought back to Nlanhla, who had brought ZEN into his life at a time of crisis. He remembered when, during one of their meditations, Nlanhla had explained to him that our minds are like a garden. If we plant seeds of prejudice and fear, they will grow and choke out everything else. But if we cultivate compassion and understanding, the garden will flourish. Those words had puzzled him then, but today they were starting to take shape in his mind as an inescapable truth. Have you ever thought about how your beliefs influence your daily decisions? Tell us in the comments how you deal with the change in your perspective. He decided to take a break from work and walk along the pier near the office. The salty sea air enveloped him, the wind ruffled his hair, and the sound of the waves crashing against the dock created a constant, relaxing rhythm. The port of Cape Town was a space where the world seemed to converge. Containers from Asia, Europe, Africa. Each commodity told a story of travel, of exchange, of cultures meeting and mixing. This place represented exactly what Miguel had always refused to see. Diversity was not an obstacle, but an enrichment. As he walked among the containers, his mind went back in time to the early days when he had started working for the company. At the time, he felt invincible, confident in his abilities and his way of managing human resources. He believed that it was enough to be inflexible, to take a hard line with anyone who did not conform to his standards. But as time went by, he saw his team fragment, tensions rise, and the faces of his employees turn dull. He never stopped to ask himself why, too focused on immediate success. One day, Miguel received an unexpected call. It was Nlanhla, who invited him to participate in a particular event. It was an interfaith and intercultural meeting, organized in the heart of Cape Town, in one of the most historical and culturally rich neighborhoods. There, representatives of different communities would gather to discuss how to create a harmonious dialogue between the various traditions and identities. Miguel accepted the invitation, even though he did not know exactly what to expect. When he arrived, he was greeted by the sound of African drums and the smell of spices from the local markets. The room was filled with people from all backgrounds: Africans, Europeans, Asians, Indians. In that colorful and lively environment, Miguel felt for the first time part of something bigger. Each individual brought with them their own history, their own traditions, and yet, in that place, they all seemed connected by an invisible thread of shared humanity. Among the various speakers, he was particularly struck by a woman named Fatima, a young entrepreneur of Muslim origins who spoke passionately about the need to break down cultural barriers in the world of work. Differences, Fatima said, are not something to be feared. but celebrated. Every culture has something unique to offer, and only when we embrace these differences can we truly thrive. Do you think diversity could improve your work environment? Share your thoughts in the comments. During a break in the event, Miguel decided to approach Fatima. He told her about his work and the difficulties he was facing in trying to change the way he saw people and their differences. Fatima listened attentively, then with a smile she said, "Change doesn't happen in a day, but every step you take towards understanding others is a step towards a more just and harmonious society. Keep going, you're going in the right direction." Miguel left the meeting with a new awareness. The change Miguel was looking for wasn't something that could happen overnight, but each small step forward brought him closer to building a more inclusive and harmonious work environment. His roots of prejudice and superficial judgment hadn't been completely cut, but they were starting to weaken. The road to deep and lasting change would be long, but he now knew he wasn't alone on that journey. And the ZEN practice, which initially seemed like just a way to calm his mind, was becoming a guide to seeing life with new eyes. Back at the office, Miguel decided to give Ntando a second chance. He called him in for an interview, and this time, instead of focusing on appearances, he tried to learn about his history, his dreams, his potential. Ntando told him about the challenges he had faced in his life, but also about his determination to make a difference for his community. Hearing those words, Miguel realized that Ntando was not only qualified for the job, but brought with him life experience and a perspective that could enrich the company. Miguel hired him, and over the next few months, Ntando proved to be a valuable asset. Not only did he fit in seamlessly with the team, but he also brought new ideas that improved the company's operational efficiency. Miguel watched his team become more united, the barriers between employees slowly melting away, replaced by a genuine spirit of collaboration. Subscribe to our channel for more stories of personal transformation like Miguel's, and discover how change can bring new successes to your life. One morning, as he looked out over the harbor from his office window, Miguel realized how much he had changed. He was no longer the same man who judged people at first sight, who saw differences as threats. He now understood that true strength did not lie in control or rigidity, but in the ability to welcome change, to adapt, and to see the world through the eyes of others. ZEN had taught him that peace is not found by trying to dominate what surrounds us, but by accepting reality for what it is, in all its complexity. Remember, change is not found in control, but in acceptance. Are you ready to begin your journey?